Welcome, viewers, to a hidden history. Bright city lights hide the dark secrets of the Middle East. In the 1960s, Tehran was the East's Paris, an oasis of absolute wealth and luxury. Behind this bright glamour, planes linked Iran and Israel, forging an incredible bond of deep trust. Great engineers built vast cities as merchants traded, creating a golden age of peace and pure wealth. Yet under the desert sand, what massive, secret river of black gold was flowing between these nations? The streets of Tehran echoed with smooth and lively jazz as classic cars glided down the grand avenues. Wealthy elites gathered in grand halls for lavish parties, blending Western fashion with deep Persian charm. Women wore high-fashion dresses with elegant pearls, while men discussed politics in sharp, tailored suits. The city glowed under warm lights and bright neon signs, showing a society moving toward the future. Tall buildings pierced the skyline of this desert jewel as a new era of progress began to unfold. Laughter and clinking glasses filled the evening air, masking the complex strategies discussed in the shadows. Royal decrees mixed with foreign investment plans, turning a dusty capital into a global hotspot. But how did this isolated nation grow so fast, surrounded by fierce rivals and political storms? The answer lay in a quiet, pragmatic friendship, formed out of mutual need and shared survival instinct. History tells us that common enemies bring rivals together, forging bonds stronger than ancient hatred. The Shah recognized that modernization required allies, and Israel needed friends in a hostile region. Together, they built an invisible bridge of trust, a bridge made of steel, knowledge, and whispered promises. Elegant diplomats moved freely across borders, carrying sensitive plans in secure leather briefcases. The streets were safe, and the markets were always full, as citizens enjoyed a rare decade of true peace. Cultural barriers melted away in grand ballrooms, where Persian hospitality met modern diplomacy. Yet every public smile was carefully calculated, serving a much larger geopolitical purpose. Foreign ambassadors watched this alliance closely, wondering how long this golden paradise could last. The music played on, the champagne continued to flow, and the ambitious projects grew bolder every day. It was a time when anything seemed truly possible, a fragile dream built on shifting geopolitical sands. As the first chapter of this grand alliance closed, the focus shifted to the bustling international airport. Heavy passenger jets touched down with roaring engines, connecting the two nations with scheduled daily flights. The national airline El Al became a vital lifeline, carrying thousands of experts across the sky. Families relocated with hopes of a better life, greeted by warm smiles and open arms on the runway. Israeli technicians arrived with advanced blueprints, ready to transform the infrastructure of the vast kingdom. They brought knowledge in farming, water, and medicine, aiming to turn dry landscapes into blooming gardens. Iranian merchants traveled back to the Holy Land, securing massive trade deals and expanding their wealth. An incredible community of expats was born, living in harmony and sharing cultural traditions. Schools and hospitals were built to serve these new guests, proving the deep commitment of this rare friendship. Can true friendship exist between two distinct nations, or is it always driven by cold national interest? Historical records show a mix of both motives, as genuine respect grew alongside strategic benefits. Bright sunlight illuminated the busy tarmac daily, symbolizing the transparency of their public trade. The flight crews walked with pride in their sharp uniforms, representing the modern face of their growing countries. Luggage carts carried not just personal belongings, but the tools and instruments needed to build an empire. Friendly handshakes between officials became common, a stark contrast to the tensions in neighboring lands. The sheer volume of traffic through the air corridors demonstrated the massive scale of their joint venture. Students from both sides crossed the skies for education, exchanging ideas that would shape the next generation. Universities hosted lively academic debates, fostering a spirit of innovation and mutual respect. The sky was no longer a barrier, but a fast highway, linking two ancient peoples in a modern world. Every successful landing was a quiet victory, solidifying a partnership that defied regional logic. Wealth flowed freely through these established channels, enriching both the elite and the growing middle class. Modern communication lines were quickly established, allowing instant coordination between the capitals. It was a logistical marvel of the modern age, planned meticulously by sharp minds on both sides. The vibrant energy at the busy terminal gates reflected a profound optimism about their shared future. However, many scholars note that this open exchange was just the visible tip of a massive iceberg. The true foundation of their powerful alliance required far more heavy lifting and quiet dedication. Away from the airports, the real work had already begun. Led by determined men with grand architectural visions, the focus shifted to the dusty construction sites, where the future of the nation was being forged in steel. Here, the polite diplomacy of the grand ballrooms was replaced by the harsh reality of physical labor. Yet the spirit of cooperation remained unbreakable, driving both sides to achieve the impossible tasks. The stage was set for the greatest era of rebuilding, a period that would change the region forever. Chief engineers stood under the scorching midday sun, reviewing massive blueprints spread across wooden tables. Giant cranes lifted concrete blocks into the bright sky, slowly assembling modern residential districts. New hospitals equipped with the latest technology emerged, ready to provide advanced care for the people. Highly skilled doctors worked closely in laboratories, sharing vital medical breakthroughs and curing diseases. Bridges and highways stretched across the difficult terrain, connecting remote villages to the wealthy capital. The desert was slowly being tamed by human brilliance, thanks to advanced irrigation and water science. Factories operated around the clock without stopping, producing goods that flooded the regional markets. Iranian businessmen found massive success abroad, investing their vast profits back into local industries. The flow of capital was faster than anyone expected, creating an economic boom of historic scales. Luxury stores displayed imported goods in shiny windows, attracting the wealthy elite and curious citizens. This rapid development was a shining testament to the power of cross-border collaboration and shared goals. But as the towering skyscrapers reached for the clouds, what crucial resource was fueling this massive engine? The answer was hidden deep beneath the arid ground, a resource that the entire industrialized world craved. To maintain this stunning rate of rapid urban growth, a continuous supply of heavy funding was needed. The partnership provided a perfect mutual solution, satisfying the urgent needs of both powerful states. Israel offered its unmatched technical expertise, while Iran held the key to unlimited energy wealth. This complementary relationship was incredibly strong, forming a protective shield against external threats. The construction sites were loud, chaotic, and dusty, yet they represented the beautiful sound of progress. Sweat poured down the faces of dedicated workers, united by a common mission to build a modern state. The results were visible in every corner of the land, from lush agricultural fields to bustling town squares. Even the most skeptical historians agree today, this era marked a peak in Middle Eastern development. The visual contrast between old traditions and new tech created a fascinating cultural landscape for all. It seemed like the Golden Age would simply last forever, guided by the steady hands of visionary leaders. The wealth trickled down to create a robust middle class, eager to embrace the comforts of modern living. Trade agreements were signed with grand public ceremonies, celebrated in newspapers and national broadcasts. The sheer ambition of these massive infrastructure plans remains a subject of great admiration even today. Every new road opened a path to further prosperity, tightly binding the economic fate of both sides. The exchange of goods was diverse and highly profitable, from agricultural machines to fine Persian rugs. It was a masterclass in pragmatic statecraft and trade, where mutual benefit overshadowed religious divide. The hum of heavy machinery was the heartbeat of Iran, pumping life into an ancient, awakening empire. Medical facilities rivaled the best in the Western world, saving countless lives and raising public health. Academic institutions published groundbreaking research, cementing their status as regional centers of thought. This period of intense, rapid modernization required absolute stability and iron-fisted political control. The glowing success of the visible, public partnership served as an excellent cover for deeper operations. While citizens celebrated the new bridges and hospitals, the intelligence agencies worked quietly in the dark. The alliance had two faces, one bathed in bright sunlight and another hidden in the deepest, coldest shadows. As the sun began to set on the bustling capital city, the focus slowly shifted away from the bright lights. The glittering facade of Tehran slowly faded into dusk, preparing to reveal its most guarded, silent secret. The day belonged to the merchants, doctors, and engineers, but the long, cold night belonged to the spies and oil. Away from the cheering crowds and busy market streets, a different kind of critical work was taking place. The grand narrative of this historic golden era is incomplete without examining the quiet, barren desert. The final piece of this complex geopolitical puzzle lay hidden beneath millions of tons of shifting sand. A secret pipeline project of unimaginable scale was silently operating under the cover of darkness. This was the true lifeline that sustained the alliance, a bold engineering marvel kept entirely classified. As we move from the radiant city into the wasteland, the true cost of this prosperity becomes very clear. Far beyond the city limits, the land turns into a harsh, freezing, and unforgiving desert night. Out here, the polite smiles of the diplomats are replaced by the cold logic of state survival. Men in dark coats stand quietly in the shadows, guarding the most vital asset of their governments. Secret agents closely watch over a massive network of heavy steel pipes, buried deep underground. Millions of barrels of rich crude oil pump silently through the dark veins of the barren wasteland. This hidden pipeline bypassed hostile neighbors, securing fuel for a rapidly growing state. Workers with oil-stained clothes turn the giant iron valves under the harsh glow of industrial lights. The flow of black gold never stops, turning the wheels of industry and funding grand modern cities. Both leaders knew this was a very dangerous game, surrounded by fierce enemies on all sides. A single leak or betrayal could ignite a massive conflict that would destroy the region. So they kept it entirely classified, creating a masterclass in covert strategy. Revenue from this pipeline paid for the bright neon signs and the grand parties back in Tehran. It bought the silent loyalty of powerful generals and the best weapons money could buy. The stark contrast between the joyful airports and the grim desert outposts is truly haunting. It reveals the cold, hard truth of international relations during this brief golden age. As the howling wind erases the tire tracks in the sand, the hidden legacy stays deep. The Paris of the Middle East was built upon a fragile bond, fueled by a sea of oil. Was this alliance a brilliant move of survival, or a dangerous gamble causing the downfall? Share your thoughts on this hidden chapter in the comments below, and let us debate the true cost of power. If you enjoyed this journey, please like this video, share it with friends, and subscribe for more history.